Okay, Cleveland Browns are on the clock. They've got almost 5 minutes before they have to hand in that card.
I want this to be Deshaun Watson so badly.
You think about it, Dane?
I want this to be Malik Hooker. If the Browns get the number 1 and 2 players on my draft board,
you're going to rip off your shirt and show us that dog pound T-shirt you got underneath?
I might.
I might.
Don't look at my socks. Yeah. Look, there are plenty of options. O.J. Howard, that's something I've mocked frequently to the Browns.
Sure, at 12.
Are we giving up on this Kirk Cousins thing?
Well, it sounds like it because they're on the clock.
Yeah. Well,
unless it's
unless
the time to do the deal.
Unless it's like a wink wink type of thing. You take Deshaun Watson and then you trade him, or whatever it is.
For the trade, Cleveland's jumped off the clock now.
Wow.
This is going to be the Houston Texans.
This is for Deshaun Watson right here.
Okay. Now the Texans have
Look at this crap.
Yeah, Houston's now. Okay, they just saw what what Kansas City did, and they've made an aggressive move up the board here to Cleveland's spot at 12. So Houston coming from 25 going to 12. They're going to take this pick from the Cleveland Browns. It's a pick that originated in Philadelphia and went to Cleveland and now is in Houston.
I'll tell you what, this is
David, make sure we get to the particulars on the trade.
Terms.
I'm guessing it's the first round pick next year, and the Browns.
I would guess so.
For the third year next year, we pick in twice in the first round. But they traded away from some really good players here.
Yeah, they sure did. But you know what? That's maybe this is one of those things where you see overpay. But you don't go this high unless you're going for a quarterback. That's the number one need on our board: quarterback, offensive tackle, linebacker, guard, and cornerback.
Do you wonder, Mr. Brugler, Mr. Ohio guy, if at some point the Browns need to stop getting cute and just make some picks? And I'm asking genuinely. I'm not trying to be a smartass.
You are correct. I mean, you're not wrong. Put it that way. I'm eager to see what the deal is. What do they get? I think that's a factor. Maybe they traded Osweiler back to Houston. I mean,
no. You can have him back. You're fine.
Houston already, they're out without next year's 2. They traded to Cleveland. So are they going to be without next year's 1 and 2? Basically, take next year's draft off. Is that how much pressure that Rick Smith's feeling at general?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Houston and you're feeling like you're going to get whacked, hey, you go ahead and give up a next year's 1. If you don't have to be around to make it work. Okay, here's the trade. Houston. Okay, there it is. It's just a straight.
Next year's 1.
Next year's 1, just a straight. So to go up 13 spots, they gave up their 2018 first round pick.
And you know what that is? Cleveland now has 2 first round picks next year. Wherever they're picking, say they're picking top 10 and 18, they're going to package those picks to go to 1 and get their quarterback next year.
Yeah, that's
what they're going to do.
Yeah. So
if hopefully there's a quarterback they like. Hey, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, USC kid.
That's the other, and I'm not. I mean, Hugh Jackson knows more about the quarterback position than I ever will. But I want to see the quarterback that he really loves, because these past 2 drafts, he's basically saying, these guys aren't good enough for what we're after.
Okay, we think this,
and I just want to see who is good enough to be quarterback.
Next year,
for
Cleveland
the
has 2 1s and 3 2s.
All right, we're looking at the live at the Texans war room right now. They're all breathing. That's good, but
that's not a war room. That's a war amphitheater.
That's like a class.
That's a college classroom.
College classroom. All right, Dan, we think it's going to be Deshaun Watson. Thumbnail it for me on Deshaun Watson, please.
We know he's a winner. I mean, obviously, all he's done since he got to Clemson is win. What he did this past year to beat Alabama in a national title game. And he's at his best in the fourth quarter. He's at his best in the last 2 minutes. He makes people around him better. The biggest question, can he consistently win from the pocket? And that's something that he'll get better at. He'll develop. But we thought going in, the quarterbacks were going to be the storyline. And here we are. We've had 3 different trades to go get the quarterbacks.
Right. And next year's 1 to get those quarterbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Houston, they felt pressured to do this. Would it shock anybody if Deshaun Watson beats out Tom Savage
No.
to be the starter
No.
from day one?
Absolutely not.
It's obviously not the same because of the ransom.
And there's the commissioner.
I'll let the commish make the pick.
The 12th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Deshaun Watson, quarterback, Clemson.
And Deshaun Watson, there he is. Not a very long wait for him in the green room, but that's 3 quarterbacks off the board now. And some might think that maybe, Dane, I know you had Trubisky, Watson, and Mahomes. Was that how you had your quarterbacks ranked?
Kaiser was number 2.
Kaiser was number 2?
I mean, I didn't expect it to go like that. This has gone as pretty much like I expected. I thought all 3 would go in the top 15. I didn't think they'd happen like this. Kansas City and Houston making these types of deals to move up. But, wow, crazy. I mean, everyone had different opinions on this quarterback class.
Yeah.
And all we heard, it's a weak quarterback class. It's not great. Well, some teams just traded future first-round picks to go up and get quarterbacks.
Yep.
So you can tell me all you want. You think it's a weak class. I mean, these NFL teams, and I don't think this is a Jake Locker, Blank, and Gabbert situation. I'm not saying these guys are going to be Pro Bowlers, but I don't think this is necessarily a time where they're just making clear reaches. I mean, you get excited about these quarterbacks and what they could develop into. But, with Kansas City, obviously Mahomes is going to a place where he can sit for 2 years, which is great. And with Watson, he can sit for a year if he needs it, but he could also beat out Tom Savage and be the guy from day one.
And the point I was going to make before the pick was obviously it's not quite the same because Dak Prescott fell in the Cowboys' laps.
Right.
Whereas Houston just paid a ransom to get Watson. But he's in just as good of a situation to succeed in terms of what's around him. I mean, he might not have that all-world offensive line, but there are pieces. I mean, the Texans got to the playoffs by stitching things together with glue and duct tape last year. He's got Lamar Miller. He's got an adequate offensive line. He's got DeAndre Hopkins already there to help him out. He's got Will Fuller, who was their first-round pick. I mean, there are pieces in place for Deshaun Watson to succeed if he is good enough to take that job.
All right.